Hi both, how are you?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
Yeah, great, thank you. And such a pleasure to speak to you both today because no exaggeration when I say I thought you were both phenomenal in this film. And I am curious. I saw an interview with Scott Derrickson where he said for kids, working on a horror movie, it's very much like Halloween. So is that an assessment you guys would both agree with?
I mean,
Yeah, but it is less scary,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely. It was a tremendous amount of fun, working with
Yeah.
everybody. I was nervous going into it, but it was a lot of fun once I got to know everyone and got to do a bunch of the scenes with Maddie and Ethan. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And Madeleine, you get some of the movie's best lines. You drop a lot of F-bombs as Gwen. So how much fun was it for you to get to play around with that sort of very funny but also very mature dialogue?
Yeah, it was so much fun because I don't get to swear. Like if I ever swore in real life, my mom would kill me. So it was really fun to get to bring, I don't know, all that fun personality to Gwen.
Yeah, and for you, Mason, obviously you spend a lot of this film working opposite Ethan Hawke, who is a really fantastic actor. But when he's behind that mask, which is obviously very imposing, what's that like for you to play off as an actor?
I mean, it was hard not to smile during the scene just because I knew what he was doing was so incredible. But what I learned so much from him is each take that he did with that mask, it was completely different. I mean, one take he would be whispering at me, another take he would scream at me. It was so much fun working with him, and every time the young cut, he went from the grabber from the nicest guy ever. So.
Yeah, for sure. And as this was your first big movie role, did you find that you learned a lot from getting to work with Ethan? I know you mentioned there, but anything else that you learned from that experience?
I mean, just to, how incredible he is, fame never got to him. He is one of the nicest and most down to earth people that I've ever met. So getting to work with him and Scott is just a dream come true.
Yeah, amazing. And now, of course, you're both part of that very harrowing scene with Jeremy Davis, where he's obviously beating your character, Madeline Gwen. And I thought it was just a masterclass in acting from all three of you. So, in terms of preparation, how did you two and Jeremy and obviously Scott prepare for what I can imagine must have been quite a difficult day on set for the three of you?
Yeah, before the scene, Scott had a really long conversation with me. He said if I needed anything during the scene that I could just ask him, but he also had a long talk with me about how it actually feels to be hit with a belt. And I just really didn't want to let him down with the scene. So I really just put myself into the moment of what it would feel like to be hit by the belt.
Yeah, and I didn't have I didn't watch them rehearse or anything like that. So when I first watched the scene, it kind of caught me off guard. The reaction was kind of real because it was intense to really be there. And I love Maddie so much, and seeing like her cry and stuff is so hard to watch. So that was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine. And of course, for you, Madeline, Gwen is really showing such defiance in the face of her what her father's doing. So for you as an
Yeah.
actor, it must have been amazing to get that powerful sort of material to work with too.
So in the scene, actually, Scott said, he said, just do whatever you want in the first take. And so when I showed, I don't know, kind of that more tough side of Gwen, even in this emotional scene, Scott said, yeah, keep doing that. That was amazing. Just do that in all of the takes.
Oh, that's awesome. And of course, now Mason, as I said before, you spend a lot of time with the grabber in this film, and that final confrontation between the two characters, real edge of your seat stuff. So how much did you and Ethan have to prepare for that? Obviously, there's a size difference between the two of you, but you're both in the midst of this quite big action scene, I guess you could say.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is I think that was the last thing I shot with Ethan. So on the day we're doing the fight and stuff, it was so much fun. And it was at the point where he was like holding the axe where he said, "This is really gonna hurt." And it was so much fun doing that. And when they yelled action, it was so hot, the adrenaline was kicking in. So when they yelled action, we were really just going at it. So that was amazing too.
Awesome. And of course, Madeline, you also get to see a bit of action because Gwen gets involved in a fight at one point in the film. So what did you enjoy about that? And for both of you, how was it working with stunts on this movie?
It was awesome. It was so much fun because my dream is to get to do a fight scene or stunts in a movie. So it was exhilarating. The whole experience was so fun. And I loved getting to go onto the mats and getting to swing with the rock. Well, it actually wasn't a rock. It was made out of foam. So I had to add like the weight onto it whenever I threw it. But yeah, that whole thing, it was super fun getting to do all the choreography and everything.
Yeah, it was cool because I got to be on a wire for when I was up there trying to get the thing so I can escape, and I was on a giant wire. That was a lot of fun. They put like a giant harness on, so that was extremely fun.
That's awesome. And of course, talking about the grabber again, another great scene, Mason, is when we see Finney trying to sneak out the house. And obviously, Ethan's character's there. We think he's sleeping. It's again, another edge of your seat, just tense scene. So what was it like to shoot that whole sequence for you?
So much fun. You know, just seeing him just sit in that chair was so creepy. So like when I'm just walking by him, I felt as much tension as the audience did at that moment. And then once I got to the door and stuff, I the hard part is the combination. I had to remember every single one. So I did them all, and then I opened the door, and then it was a lot of fun from then.
Yeah, and of course, Madeleine, you maybe don't get to spend as much time with the grabber, which might be a good thing, actually. But
I
you do,
know, that's what I was thinking.
you do get, obviously, with Gwen, get to be part of these quite trippy dream sequences as we obviously get to travel inside her mind. So, how much fun were those to shoot, and what did you enjoy most about that?
They were so cool because they would use a normal camera, and then I don't remember what the camera was called. Wait, what was it called? Well, anyways,
Yeah,
it like
super.
put a different kind of motion on it, which was so cool. And then getting to see it all on the screen, it was amazing how they put it all together.
Yeah, well, it came together awesome. And I'm curious, obviously, both of you, I'm guessing you would have got to see the grabber's mask up close and personal working on the film. So what was it like to be so near to that? And what would you both say is maybe the freakiest thing about it? Because it's used to great effect throughout the movie.
Yeah, I feel like what I love so much about it is that, you know, and this might just be way off, but I feel like, you know, it changes and stuff. It goes from smile to a frown to nothing. I feel like that when he's smiling, it might be like a completely different emotion. It's so strange and eerie. I love it so much what they do with it. So
I feel like the mask and then the phone are characters of themselves. And sadly, I didn't get to see the mask on set. So when I went to the premiere and I saw the guy wearing the mask, it was so creepy. I was so scared.
I bet. And Madeleine, obviously, you've been part of other big franchises before, like playing Bonnie in Toy Story 4 and a young Hope in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But are those worlds that you maybe hope to return to, either that Marvel world or perhaps Toy Story?
Oh, yeah, totally. Pixar and Marvel are such a big part of my life. I still rewatch all of the movies. But that's why I feel like this movie, The Black Phone, was so much fun because it's so different and it was so like, I don't know, out of all the stuff that I've done before. So yeah, everything that I've done, they have all been such amazing experiences.
Yeah, for sure. And Mason, do those superhero movies interest you now, obviously having taken on a role like this, and obviously Scott having done Doctor Strange? Is that a world you'd like to maybe explore as an actor?
well, definitely, most definitely, I would love to. I grew up loving superheroes, so if I ever got that opportunity, I would definitely love to take it.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed on that front. And talking of Scott, he is a great filmmaker. Obviously, done the blockbuster side of things with Doctor Strange, but a lot of horror movies too. So, what did you both learn as actors? Would you say working with him on this project?
I feel like, well, I've always wanted to be a director. I hope to, you know, be a director one day. So seeing Scott, and he's one of the most amazing what he does. It's so amazing, and he really knows how to make his actors feel safe, and he knows how to let them have a lot of freedom in a scene. And he's just so amazing, and he's done so much for me. Just apart from Black Phone, he's an amazing person.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know often actors who work on horror films, they do typically get asked, did anything spooky happen on set? But I'm going to have to ask the question because I'm curious. Did you guys find anything spooky happening on set? Because this is as I said, very creepy, intense movie, even if maybe you imagined it.
Yeah, not really, but what was really creepy was the van. That thing was
Yeah,
terrifying.
that was really
Also,
great.
also the basement was really scary because I didn't see it when everyone was there on set and all the lights were everywhere. But because when I walked in, the lights were off on the soundstage and we were just walking through it. And it was so creepy and dark.
And same for you, Mason, I'm guessing, obviously being down in that basement all that time. Was that?
First time I saw the basement it was completely dark. I'm pretty sure I saw it with Maddie, and I didn't expect that at all. It was like it was like a big prison cell. It was weird to be in there.
Awesome. And just one final question for you both. Obviously, you've now been part of really great horror film in the Black Phone, but do you both have any favorite horror movies of your own?
Well, I'm not really allowed to watch horror movies, but from the ones that I've seen, probably It or It Chapter 2, because they're so funny and scary at the same time.
How about you, Mason? Any particular favorites?
I gotta go with the classics, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Those were the first horror movies I watched, and they still stick with me today. So I gotta go back with those.
Oh, well, fantastic choices and fantastic work from both of you in this film. So thank you so much for taking the time, because it was great to watch you in the movie, and can't wait to see what you both do next.
Thank you so much.
Have a great one, guys. Thanks for your time.